Hey Saddleback family, my name is Cooper and I have the privilege of serving our church as a journalist and storyteller. My job is to find and share stories filled with hope and purpose, stories of life change and redemption, and above all else, stories about how God is moving in and through our church. I'm often moved to tears as I sit down with members of our church family and they share intimate details about how God has changed their life, how He rescued them from a hopeless situation, and how they're impacting this world for good because of what God has done. I get a daily reminder of the goodness of God by sharing these stories with our church. It also serves as a daily reminder of how God has shown up in my life. He reminds me of the story He wrote for me. Before I joined staff here at Saddleback, I was working as a breaking news reporter at the CBS radio affiliate in Los Angeles. Most days, you would find me on the front lines of tragedy. Mass shootings, natural disasters, hate crimes, political corruption, you name it, I was there, and I shared those stories with hundreds of thousands of people. Now, I've been a believer since I was in elementary school, but after several years of working in the news industry, I stopped believing that God was good. My days were filled with death, doom, and destruction. I started believing that the darkness of this world would overshadow God's light, and it began to take a toll on my mental health. Anxiety and depression took hold of me, and in September 2019, I found myself battling a debilitating panic attack while reporting on a mass casualty incident. I left work early and wept the whole way home. I felt so lost, so overwhelmed, and completely out of control. The next day, I saw my doctor, and he signed off on a 6-week stress leave. It didn't help. The panic attacks got worse. Fear consumed my every waking thought. And then God got my attention. I was in the woods, reading my Bible and praying. It had been a while. I remember falling to my knees, literally crying out to God, asking Him to show up. I needed a miracle. Since I was in high school, I wanted to be a journalist. I had become one of, if not the youngest reporter in the second largest city in the country. It was a dream job that turned out to be a nightmare, and all I could think to pray was, please, please God, let me tell good news. I was thinking maybe I could get taken off the crime and disaster beat, become an entertainment or sports reporter, but God had other plans. I heard His whisper in my heart. What about the good news, Cooper? What about what I'm doing? I'm still here. I'm still working. I'm not done. I'm not done with you, and I'm not done with this world. Tears streamed down my face, but these weren't tears of desperation. They were tears of hope. I remembered that God is in control, that He is the author of my story, and that the darkness of this world could never dim His light. John 1:5 says, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." Saddleback family, that light is in us. That light is a gift from God. That light is Jesus, and it is our job to spread that light throughout the world. And believe me, this world needs it. Because the truth is, this world is filled with darkness. I have seen it with my own eyes. But do you know what else I've seen? I've seen miracles. I've seen them in my own life, and I have seen them in yours. Families reunited, marriages restored, people freed from addiction and pain, the hungry fed, the sick healed. Family, I have seen the light, and because of that, I will spend the rest of my life telling others about it. In Matthew chapter 5, while Jesus is giving His Sermon on the Mount, He tells His followers, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Friends, we are all called to be storytellers. We are called to tell others about what God has done in our lives. We are called to share the light of Jesus. So let your light shine. Start telling your story, because it's not just your story, it's God's story. It's not just good news, it's the good news. And the world desperately needs to hear it. Will you pray with me? God, thank you for being the author of our story. Thank you for the hope and the light we have because of Jesus. God, continue to give each of us opportunities to share our story, your story. Let us be a light in this world, and to you be the glory. Amen.